The electric Ram
I didn't know
is
this.
dead. Dead.
The Ram Rev is totally gone?
Ram Rev, the electric Ram is dead. But the name Ram Rev is now the Ram Charger. They're changing the Ram Charger's name to Ram Rev.
So they're just like, don't look over here, and they just like take it off of one and stick it on the other?
Yeah, just classic Chrysler
Why?
naming shenanigans. Why are they getting rid of the electric truck? I could tell you why.
Oh, man, I could make some guesses.
Yeah, no one's going to buy it.
Right. It's not going to sell.
And this is one of the few instances where Chrysler being last to the party actually worked out for them.
Yeah, because they didn't produce a ton of these that are going to sit on lots.
For those not keeping track at home, which I wouldn't blame you, the electric Ram was originally supposed to come out like third quarter of last year, and it got postponed a few times. The Ram Charger, which is... Okay, let me back up. The electric Ram that you see pictured here is all electric, similar to the Cybertruck, the Silverado EV,
Ford Lightning.
the Ford Lightning. That's what this product is. But they called it, or were going to call it, the Ram electric vehicle, or Ram Rev. Rev is also in the electric drivetrain industry the name of a different style of electric propulsion called range extended electric vehicle, right? Which is abbreviated REEV, sometimes just REV. But that's not what this is.
Or E-Rev, electric.
Range extended vehicle.
Yeah.
E-Rev, Rev. That's not what this is. But they did have an E-Rev, but it wasn't called the Rev. It was called the Ram Charger.
Stop us when you go cross-eyed.
Yeah. And they use that name because they used to have a truck called the Ram Charger back in the day. Has absolutely nothing to do with this new product. The difference between an all-electric truck like this, which is as simple as you imagine it is, it's just a big battery with a truck on top of it, right? And electric motors. The E-Rev or Rev is a much smaller electric battery with an onboard generator. And you fill it up just like you would a normal car. You put gas in it, and it makes energy on the go. You may think, well, that's ridiculous. That's not efficient. It actually is incredibly efficient. It's more efficient, if you can imagine, if you can believe it. It's more efficient to have a generator that you're putting gas in to create electricity to drive the wheels than to just use the engine to directly drive the wheels.
This is all about power needs. When you're towing a trailer with a truck, or you're trying to accelerate quickly, or you're stuck in sand, or whatever it is that you need, you're having a lot of load on the car. You need to have a high amount of power for that, which means a big engine that's not that efficient. So as you have higher demand, the engine gets bigger, and your efficiency goes down. We all understand this. If you can use a small engine that is very efficient at turning liquid pterodactyl into electricity, what you're doing is you are storing up the energy of that small motor to be dumped all at once by the electric motors if they need to. So the electric motors can run extremely efficient, like 98+% efficient on the electricity in the battery pack going to actually turning the wheels. Almost nothing is lost to heat. Whereas a regular engine, a particularly efficient vehicle is 30% thermally efficient. Of the energy involved in of the energy contained in the gasoline, only 30% of it is used for locomotion. The rest of it is turned to heat and sound. So if you take a really efficient little engine, sure, it's only producing a little bit of power, but you're able to store that up in the form of a small battery to use it all at once. So you don't need to carry around a giant engine.
And you don't need to carry around a giant battery.
You don't need a giant battery either. So you can go with a small battery. And in the Ram, what was the Ram Charger yesterday, but I guess today is the Ram Rev.
They need to hire someone just to name their products.
I find the Ram Charger, or what will now be called the Ram Rev, fascinating. The thing produces so much power, it needs 8 lugs in a half-ton truck to not shear the lugs off. It tows more than any other 1500 size pickup.
And the kicker for actual truck people that want to do actual truck things is it gets more than 600 miles of range.
If you're careful, you will hit 700 miles.
And that's not
700 miles of driving.
That's not EV like, oh yeah, well potentially you could get 400 miles under like very unique circumstances. This will get that kind of range because you're driving the electricity from an onboard generator. Now, if you're towing something, that will affect your range, but guess what? Because it has an engine on board, you don't need to stop and charge a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack. You just stop and fill it up with gas and you're on your way.
Yeah, you bring your gas station with you. It's just always charging.
Mm-hmm. You can plug it in and charge it, because it does have a battery, and you can get, 60, 70 miles of range, something like that?
170.
Yeah.
170 miles is a respectable amount of miles in a big pickup.
But if you're going to be towing, top it off with gas, and you got 600 miles at your disposal, and then when you run out of range, you fill it up like any other truck. So that's...
And you won't even run out of range. You just keep it filled up.
So what I was just showing was the canceled Ram Rev. So when you ask me, they're doing away with the Ram Rev? The product that used to be, yes, but the name is sticking around. This is now the 2026 Ram Rev.
Don't worry about it. We even pushed it back. Nobody wanted that crap. This is our cool thing because I bet you they know. They know that this is an industry-changing vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Big time. That's why they moved it up. The electric was supposed to come first and this after. And then they saw what was going on in the rest of the industry. And they're like, you know what? Let's fast track this product and move the electric truck back.
They know. What if you could buy a truck that costs less than an electric truck, has every single benefit of an electric truck and every single benefit of a gas truck, and costs less than the electric offering?
I think they're on the right track here. Mm-hmm. This looks like a truck. It performs like a really good truck. Mm-hmm. And
it performs like a 2500.
And it behaves like a truck in that you can actually use it. You can tow with it and you can fill it up with gas and keep going. Mm-hmm. This is the only technically electric truck that I think people who use the full potential of their trucks could actually use.
Regularly tow a motorhome or a big boat or something, you wouldn't even consider a Rivian or a Cybertruck.
No. Or even maybe the Silverado EV, but that thing's so outrageously expensive for that giant battery.
The cheapest, if you get the small battery, the cheapest electric truck on the road is still wildly expensive.
But if you want range that's still not anywhere close to what this thing can achieve, you're spending...
People are blown away by the 480 miles or something they claimed in the 200 kilowatt hour pack.
Yeah, but then strap a big heavy trailer on the back and see that mileage drop in half, and then you got to sit and wait for it to charge.
And heaven forbid it's below like 50 degrees out, and you have to spend a lot of energy keeping the batteries warm. Mm-hmm. Now, this thing's got a 60 kilowatt hour battery.
When you've got like 6 horses and you need to be across Texas by that afternoon, you're not using an all electric truck.
Yeah.
Not if your livelihood depends on it. Not if you have livestock or you need to get goods somewhere. Like if you need to be able to take a detour if you need to and not have to see, well, do I have the time? Is there going to be a supercharging station there?
Yeah, like what happens if a road is out because of a flood or a crash or whatever? That's a perfect example of like the electric trucks can work most of the time in theory, but we don't live in theory. We live in the real world.
So people who actually use the full potential of their trucks for real truck things, this is the first technically electric powered truck that I think is just as viable as a normal truck because you can fill it up and keep going. So this is now the 2026 Ram Rev, no longer the Ram Charger. I like the Ram Charger name, but I do understand they're trying to make this just a truck. It happens to be electric, but they don't really want you to think about that. Mm-hmm. They just want you to know this is a truck. These are the specs. This is what it can do. This is the range it gets, and you can fill it up. It's just a truck.
Yeah.
Just think of it like a truck.
Good point. They would much rather put this against F-150 than a Lightning. Because
it looks good against either one. It will depend on the pricing.
It looks phenomenal against either. The pricing would probably be a little more than a Ford, but it's going to be less than a 2500.
Yeah.
And it'll perform the same as a 25.
I think it'll be on par with the other electric trucks, if not a little cheaper.
It's got to be cheaper. Most of the expense is the batteries. This is only 60 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, but it has a whole engine in it too.
That's the Pentastar that they've had for forever that costs them next to nothing.
It's the engine in my minivan. Yeah,
Every single...
but also everything that goes with putting an engine in a car.
Which most of that doesn't exist.
That's true. It doesn't have a drivetrain, doesn't have a transmission.
It doesn't have any of that. It just has a generator.
But it still needs like a wiring harness and a computer for that. And
Yeah, but that would be the truth for any vehicle they made.
yeah.
Honestly, like they might make this cheaper than a 6.4 Ram. Without the battery, maybe. It'd probably be the cost of a 6.4 Ram plus the cost of a 60 kilowatt hour battery.
But it will be faster accelerating, tow more,
Potentially, I think they were saying up to 800 foot-pounds of torque.
and better mileage.
Yeah, and the 6.4 has 410 foot-pounds of torque
Yeah, it's all going to depend on pricing.
and 29 or 27 miles to the gallon.
Even if it was priced exactly what the other electric trucks are at, this is so much of a better product
Oh, yeah.
because you can refuel it and keep going.